Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something we all see, right? In the grocery aisle. Food ingredient labels. Sometimes they're just baffling.
It really can be.
And we're looking at a really interesting personal take someone shared, basically exploring how to read them just out of, well, intellectual curiosity.
Exactly. It wasn't some big scientific study, just one person trying to figure things out practically.
Our goal here is to pull out some, actionable tips from that approach,
Mhm.
stuff to help everyone make maybe slightly more informed choices, looking past the flashy packaging.
And it turns out this very down-to-earth method gives us some pretty useful insights, things we can all use.
Okay, so let's jump in. The first big idea was about the order of ingredients. Seems basic.
It does, but it's fundamental. Legally, ingredients have to be listed by weight, most to least.
Right, so the first few things on the list, that's the bulk of the product.
That's it, exactly. They show you what the product really is, its main foundation.
And the person who shared this insight, they even mentioned aiming for that first ingredient to be like 70% of the product if possible.
Yeah, that's quite specific, but it really highlights the point. Focus on what you're getting the most of.
So you can quickly check if, say, your strawberry yogurt is mostly strawberries, or actually mostly sugar.
Precisely. Does that main ingredient match what you think you're buying?
Okay, good first point. Now, what about additives? That whole world of E numbers, INS numbers. It can feel a bit like alphabet soup.
It really can seem overwhelming at first glance, but the core idea from the source was pretty straightforward, actually.
Which is,
Generally, fewer is better. It's kind of a simplicity principle.
okay. The source gave an example, didn't they? Comparing something with just INS 568.
To another product that listed like INS 511 and INS 900A.
Right. So it's almost a visual thing. A shorter list might mean less processing.
That's the general idea. You don't necessarily need a PhD in chemistry or need to memorize what every single INS or E number means.
So just seeing a long string of them is kind of a flag.
It can be, yeah. A signal that maybe this is a more heavily processed item, and you might want to look for something simpler, maybe with ingredients you recognize more easily.
Okay, that simplifies things. Ingredient order, number of additives. Well, the third point is a bit less obvious. Something about distribution.
Yes, exactly. This was interesting. They looked beyond the list itself to where the product is actually sold.
And they mentioned Singapore specifically.
Right, because Singapore is known for having pretty strict food safety standards. Lots of frequent and rigorous checks, as they put it.
So the thinking is, if a product is good enough to be imported and sold there.
It suggests it's probably passed a higher level of scrutiny. It's like an indirect indicator of quality control.
Almost like a proxy for safety standards.
Precisely. Now, it's not a 100% guarantee, obviously. Nothing ever is.
Sure, sure.
But if a product meets the import rules for a place known for being strict, it just adds another little piece to the puzzle when you're considering its potential quality.
Okay, got it. So let's recap quickly. 3 main takeaways from this personal deep dive into labels. Check the ingredient order. First few matter most.
Yep.
Aim for fewer additives, those INS or E numbers. A shorter list is often a good sign.
Generally, yes.
And maybe consider where the product is distributed. If it's sold in places with tough safety checks, that could be a positive signal.
Those are the core practical tips. And what's really interesting, I think, is how adopting these simple habits can really change your perspective.
How so?
Well, it shifts your focus away from just the brand name or the marketing claims on the front of the box.
And onto what's actually in the food you're buying. It's quite empowering, really.
It is.
So thinking about these strategies, how might focusing a bit more on labels change how you look at your groceries? Could it maybe spark a wider curiosity about, say, food sourcing or why regulations differ so much between regions? Definitely something to think about.